I posted like a video of me dunking the ball, throwing the alley-oop off the wall, catching it and dunking it. Came back and looked at my phone after practice and I had a bunch of missed calls. Something that Coach Norvell preaches to us is it's a choice at the end of the day. You have to make that choice to either give it your all or, you don't want to be successful.
Man, what's up, y'all? It's Freddie Stevenson from Trials of Triumph. I just want to say thank you to everybody that supported last week's episode with Kes McCorvey. And we have another great episode coming up this week with Richie Leonard IV. He talks about his journey and how he's been able to overcome adversity and the expectations for Florida State football the rest of the season. But first, I would like to take the time out to thank our sponsors, T1RX, Indie Atlantic Films, and Concord Coffee. But let's get into this episode. Sure, I appreciate you pulling up on us, man. We at the spot Airbnb today, man, with y'all boys getting your summer workouts in.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're a Florida boy. Grew up in Cocoa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you growing up?
Growing up, I grew up in a real sports heavy household.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My dad played college basketball. He, had me and my sister out there playing basketball as early as I could remember. So it was good, definitely.
Is your pops taller than you?
Yeah. My dad about 6'6".
What position did he play?
Actually, he played shooting guard in college.
Oh,
so, yeah, he never really played football. That wasn't his thing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Y'all ever you ever hopped on the court with him?
Not in a while. When I was younger, we might play one-on-one in the front yard or something like that. Or he'd just be out there working with me, training me. But not in a while.
I know your area, Cocoa, is known to put out a lot of great talent. What was it like for you in high school? Did y'all have a powerhouse team? Because I know right now they got one of the best teams in Florida, period.
Yeah, definitely. It was cool coming up in that, especially because I stopped playing. I played flag football, and then I stopped playing pretty much around time it was time for younger kids to put on shoulder pads and all that. I ended up just playing basketball and baseball. So I started back playing in high school, and I feel like I was lucky because the environment, it was a winning football program. It was just awesome to for that to be my first real experience.
Was it hard for you to adjust back since you had to wait all those years to get back into football?
Definitely. It definitely took some time to adjust back, but yeah. I had a good foundation around me. I had great teammates to go against every day. So, yeah, it took some time, but not that much time.
Even though you're going through the process and you're trying to adjust to the game, clearly you were a highly sought out player. At what point in high school did you realize you would have opportunity to do this at the next level?
Honestly, probably not until going into my senior year. I had gotten some offers and stuff like that, but I had also seen a lot of people end up with offers and then end up not going still. So I say going into my senior year, once I had everything squared away, academically, athletically, I had decided where I wanted to go, and that it got closer to it. That's when it really felt real.
What was your recruitment process like during the process? Any stories that kind of stand out for you that you'll never forget? Mine wasn't really that crazy. I remember through my process, I grew up a Miami fan, but when I got the offer from Florida State, Miami was kind of slow playing me at the time because I had a major leg injury. But once Florida State offered me and I came in and saw that environment, I just shut everything down. But I know everybody got their own experiences.
Yeah. I remember being in high school, and I was getting recruited by some schools, and I was in communication with all three of those Florida schools, Florida State, and Miami, but I hadn't gotten offered by them yet. And I remember I posted. We were in the off season. I was playing basketball actually, and I posted a video of me dunking the ball, throwing the alley-oop off the wall, catching it, and dunking it.
Off the wall. Okay.
That was just in gym class, and then I remember I had baseball practice after that. I went to baseball practice. I came back.
Well, you didn't tell me about baseball.
Yeah,
okay. Baseball. All right.
Yeah, definitely. I went to baseball practice. Came back and looked at my phone after practice, and I had a bunch of missed calls. So I started calling people back. I think I called Florida State back first. They offered me, and then I called Miami back next. and they offered me, and it was funny because after that, Florida did too. And I remember the last two schools had said the same thing. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Man, we were trying to keep it a secret, but you're blowing up now." Like, that was just a funny thing that always stuck out to me in my recruiting process.
What was it like for you during your time? Of course, being in Gainesville and experiencing that culture. Premier university in the country.
Yeah, it was cool. I was there for 4 years. I had a great time in Gainesville. No bad things to say about that place or my time there. And I met a lot of people that I hope will be in my life for a long time. So definitely no bad blood there.
For sure. Well, you ultimately decided, to hit the portal. Mm-hmm. What was it that stood out about Florida State for you?
Really, it was Coach Norvell. It was like the first thing. I just got a different vibe from him than I had gotten from any other head coach that I had met up to that point. Mm-hmm. He just seemed so, genuine and authentic. And then I knew a couple guys that played up here, some teammates that I played with in high school, actually, and they just had nothing but great things to say about him, not only as a coach but as a person. So I'd say that was the first thing that stuck out about Florida State to me in that process.
I was I sat down with Norvell a little bit earlier this morning, and one thing that stands out about Norvell for me, I told him this, 2 players through his tenure, there's a lot of things that stand out about him. Of course, I hear people speak highly of him, but it's one thing to hear the stories, but then you see it in action. And 2 players, when I look at his tenure, are Jordan Travis and Ryan Fitzgerald, because those are 2 guys that went through all the lumps, had points where the whole entire fan base wanted to turn their back on them, and then they were mad at the coaching staff for continuing to put them out there. But Coach Norvell and his staff continued to believe in them, continued to push positivity into them, and those guys ended up having legendary careers. Like last year, Fitz, he was up for the Groza last year. Mm-hmm. I feel like he should have won. It is what it is. And then Jordan Travis ends up becoming a legend. What does that mean to you to be under somebody like a Coach Norvell when you're going through life situations, you're going through slumps on the field, you know that he's going to back you?
Yeah, I think it just gives you a sense of security, like because stuff like that is few and far between in today's game of college football. So seeing like how he stuck by those guys, but also getting to meet those guys and seeing like their perspective from it too, and like how hard they worked to go from where they started to where they ended. It's a cool thing to see, honestly.
For sure. And it's crazy because you had an opportunity. Not a lot of people get to do this. You had an opportunity to play at 2 rival schools. What's it like experiencing? I asked Earl this. He had an answer. No, your answer may be the same. What's it like experiencing crowds in the SEC versus crowds in the ACC? Is it a completely different ball game?
I won't say it's a completely different ball game. I think a lot of the stadiums over there just genuinely will hold more people. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I remember one of the loudest games I played in was when I was at Florida, and we came and played Florida State. And that game sticks out in my head a lot whenever people ask me like, what are the loudest games I've played in. So I don't think that there's a huge difference, to be honest. But from my perspective, I'm just there to play. So whatever we got to deal with, Yeah.
And of course, during your time, at Florida, you had the opportunity to play with Anthony Richardson. And I kind of wanted to ask, since he's a dual threat guy, how do you prepare when you're dealing with a QB that is a runner versus a QB that's a pocket passing guy?
Yeah. From an offensive line perspective, when you have a guy behind you that can run the ball very well, especially in passing situations, it just kind of teaches us like, okay, he might take off at one point, so the guy I'm attached to might try to tear away to go chase the ball. So it makes me more conscious to not hold in situations like that to bring the offense back when his legs are benefit. You know what I mean? I can't make it a disadvantage. You know?
Okay, yeah. And versus with a pocket guy, the perspective is different for you.
Yeah, definitely. You just are conscious that's much less likely. You know what I mean? So yeah.
For you at this point in your career, being able to play the game for a while, what do you feel like if you had to pick one thing in your game that's a strength? For me, I'm not going. Mine wasn't even a physical tool for me. I was relentless. You were going to damn near have to kill me on the field because I just wasn't going to stop. And the physical limitations that I did have, my mentality allowed me to overcome them on the field. Yeah. So for you, what would you say if you had to choose one thing that stands out about you in your game? Men weren't built to coast. We were built to conquer. T1RX delivers physician-led testosterone therapy and supplements forged for operators. No fluff, no excuses, just results. Visit T1RX.com and take back the edge.
Definitely, I'd say something similar. As a undersized offensive lineman, myself, I feel like your mentality and the way you think the game has to be much better than your opponent to be successful in situations like that. So I feel similar about my game. I also feel like I'm a relentless player. I'm gonna get after you every snap of that game. But at the same time, I feel like I can outthink a lot of people when it comes to football. I pride myself in my knowledge of the game. So definitely.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with Willie Lampkin, but he's one of the smallest offensive linemen ever come through the NFL.
Yeah.
And he was on the show talking about how everybody told him that because of his size he wouldn't be able to play. And I just thought of that because you talked about people saying that you're undersized. Mm-hmm. Does that put a chip on your shoulder knowing that people are constantly doubting
you? Yeah, most definitely. But I think it'll show. I think it showed in Willie Lampkin's game. Mm-hmm. He's a heck of an offensive lineman. I actually got to meet him back in high school, just throughout the camp circuit and stuff like that. But definitely, most definitely.
What was it like for you when you moved from Florida and you came over to Florida State, just building camaraderie with the new guys? Did it take you a while, or were you able to kind of fit in fast with the team?
No, I was able to jump right in. The guys we have here, they were just so welcoming to me when I came last year. It wasn't about where I came from, it was about this team now, you know what I'm saying? So it didn't really take long to integrate with the guys.
And of course, like you said, you built great relationships over there, but you're on the other side now. Mm-hmm. Was it a lot of anxiety built up for you? Were you anxious when y'all got the opportunity to play the Gators last year and you go against some of your former teammates?
Yeah, I wouldn't say anxious. During that moment, it was really more disappointment because I wasn't able to play in that game due to my injury last year. It was good to see some of my old buddies though that I played with when we did play that game. But I'm excited to be able to play in it this year. God willing.
Mm-hmm. Just to build on the injury, when you're going through the course of the season, injuries are going to happen. In the league, they always say that football is 100% injury sport. It just depends if you're going to be able to fight through your injury or not. Yeah. How do you keep yourself focused and from getting discouraged when you may have to deal with a nagging injury throughout the season that kind of impacts the way that you're able to make a difference on the field? Yeah,
I think something that Coach Norvell preaches to us is it's a choice at the end of the day. You have to make that choice to either give it your all or you don't want to be successful. So I think keeping that in my head, coming in there every day throughout that process, and just seeing my teammates, you know what I'm saying? It's a real brotherhood. So it's like you're not just really doing it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it for everyone around you.
Off camera, we talked a little bit about just the bond that you built with the team. Like just yesterday, you were telling me about a senior retreat. What does it mean for you to have a coach like Coach Norvell that emphasizes things like that to celebrate guys on the team and ultimately build that bond amongst the team and the players?
It means a lot. It really does. Getting to do stuff like that and just have like real opportunities to just be around each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. I can't ask for much more than that. And I also feel like when you do stuff like that, it just raises accountability.
Yeah.
Because I can't hold someone accountable that I don't really have a real relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'll just go in one ear and out the other. But it's different when it's coming from your brother. You know what I mean? So yeah.
The battles in collective has been huge for Florida State, allowing guys to get different opportunities and spread their wings a little bit. What has it meant for you personally as a player?
It's been great. But I also feel like the main thing is on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All that stuff is great, and no complaints on that side of it. It's just the main. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. You know, it's about getting better every day. You can't get too comfortable just because of the benefits of being a college football player in 2025. You know what I mean? You just can't get too comfortable. You got to stay hungry.
What would you say to a younger player that's coming into that? Because you said, and Earl said the same thing yesterday, staying focused on the main goal. And you will see some guys, even though because you're a brand, you're a business, that you have to take care of certain things off the field and for your brand's sake. Mm. But how do you keep the balance so that you don't allow that to interrupt what you're trying to do on the field? Because I do feel like sometimes you have younger guys that come in and they want more of that than actually having the success on the field.
Mm.
We would like to thank Concord Coffee for sponsoring this episode. Fuel your day with Concord Coffee, Florida's favorite local roaster. Whether you're grabbing a freshly brewed cup on the go or savoring a latte crafted by our skilled baristas, Concord Coffee is all about bringing you quality and community in every sip. Visit us at our Lakeland or Gainesville locations, or shop online to get your favorite beans delivered right to your door. Start your day the Concord way, because great coffee isn't just a drink, it's an experience. Concord Coffee, where craft meets community. Make sure to visit concordcoffee.com to learn more.
I would say try to voice like older guys who have been through it. Like for instance, when I came in, it wasn't like it was now. They passed the law after my first year of college. You know what I mean? So really just preaching to them that just as quick as this came to you, it can be taken away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got, like I said before, it's all about keeping the main thing. All this stuff is nice, but at the end of the day, it's about football and school. You know what I mean? So if those two things get put to the back burner, then all that nice stuff won't last very long.
Of course, we could see locked in for sure on ball, but in your free time, just to get away from the game, get away from life, what are things that you kind of do to just unwind, for fun?
Yeah, fishing, golfing. I've been golfing a lot recently. I find a lot of fun in that. Me and my teammates go golfing.
You nice?
I'm getting there. I'm new to the game, you know what I mean? But I say I've made a lot of improvement in my short time playing so far. I'm
nice in putt. I wouldn't say I'm anything else, but in putt, I don't think there's anybody that want to see me in putt. I'm cold. But in real golfing, shoot, garbage. I'm trash. But putt, like we go to Top Golf, man, I'm trying to find Freddie ain't trying to swing. Nah, I ain't really feeling too good. Just lying. Yeah, I ain't really feeling too good, man. We finna go over there and play putt. I'm feeling a little better right now. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
Man, shoot, run it up on people and putt golf. That's my thing. But golfing is, I guess I got to work on mobility and all that stuff a little bit more because I be looking funny out there. My swing, I don't even know. So, but it is something like when you try other sports and you get to see certain sports that are more difficult for you. I would have never thought that golf was that difficult. It's a lot of mobility, range of motion, all those things. It makes you have a high level of respect for the people that do it at a high level. That's why you don't really see, well, you don't ever see any like muscle-bound golf player. Like the swollest golf player I saw was Tiger Woods. He was big arms, but other than that, they're not big dudes. So, but I wanted to ask you, like, I've been asking all the players that's on the team. Everybody had different answers, from Earl to Tommy. What are the top 5 restaurants in Tallahassee for you?
That's a good one. Top 5. All of them ain't restaurants. I'm gonna give you top 5 places to eat, though. At least in my opinion.
Okay.
1, A-Town.
Yeah, Tommy mentioned A-Town earlier. Okay, yeah, that's on the list.
Definitely A-Town. 2, Yes Soul Fusion, the food truck, best oxtails around.
You said Soul Fusion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Soul Fusion,
definitely. Okay. What's another good spot? I like El Uso.
What's that?
The little steakhouse. Yeah,
okay.
Like that's right under that hotel. What's another one? Oh, Sweetie Edie's, that little sandwich shop right on campus.
What they say?
It's right in the middle of the campus, like kind of by the waterfall. Or not the waterfall.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff that's here now that wasn't here when I was there, so I'm gonna be out there. I ain't gonna know. And
yeah.
So Sweetie Edie's.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's 4?
That's 4. 5th, I'd say it's a newer place called Connor's. Connor's steak and seafood. I like that place too.
All right, I'm gonna put that on the list.
Yeah.
So bet. All right. We done heard A-Town twice, so A-Town going to the top of the list.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely gotta.
Okay, I'm gonna check A-Town out.
A-Town.
What would you, for you to be in the position now, coming up? Of course, you said your pops played sports, but for you to be living out your dream and doing it at a high level, do you ever just look at everything and think about how blessed you are to be walking in it?
All the time, most definitely. It's amazing, I walk in the building every day just with a smile. Like, I get to play college football at one of the premier programs, like, in this sport in general. It's awesome.
If you can give some advice to a young player that's coming up in the game, wants to play at a high level, has league aspirations, what would it be?
Do more. I feel like growing up, a lot of kids would think, like, if I go to practice, workouts, and playing the games, that I'll be good. You know what I mean? But it's like, at the end of the day, everybody around you is doing the same thing. So you have to do more. Like, there's like that old saying, like, if you won't get up where, like, some other kid out there, 1,000 miles away, that's real. You know what I'm saying? So just do more.
He said, do more. So no matter how, never allow yourself to get complacent, basically. Because there's always somebody out there. You're in a world full of people that say they got those same dreams that you got, and a lot of them may be underdogs. So they put in a little extra work. Some of them may be gifted and they willing to work. So what are you willing to do to give yourself that edge over your competition?
Exactly.
Shoot, man, I appreciate you just taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know y'all getting ready for a great season, man. I appreciate you, man. I respect y'all boys, the work that y'all do behind the scenes, man. A lot of people don't know it, but I know what y'all do behind the scenes, and just everything that y'all do behind the scenes just to be able to put, of course, chase your dreams, but give a great product to the fans, man. And we're excited to see y'all this year, and I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule to sit down with me.
Most definitely. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Much love.
Well, Freddie, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We didn't anticipate to take a break like this from our parts of the podcast, but guilty. I've been super busy with other projects. We're trying to work on solutions to film whenever we're like in separate places, because the fall always gets weird for both of us. But a lot of football has happened since the last time we recorded. Bama lost to FSU. FSU's on a tear. Our boy Tommy looks like he's a terror. Our boy Earl.
Yeah, Earl, dog. As
He
good,
looks
as,
like a
good as
terror.
Tommy is, I feel like Earl. When you look at Florida State, and Earl might be the best player on that team, man.
He runs through people.
Yeah.
It's and honestly, like, it's refreshing. You know, you see a team. It speaks to the landscape of college football, but you see a team that went 2-10 last year, and all these players, you know, stopped playing. Like you see, like it happened to everybody. You know, you see UCLA is 0-3, and they, like, their players are just like phoning it in. But now you see, like, a team go 2-10 last year, and now they're 2-0 this year against Bama in the first game. There's some really big tests coming up, but, like, it just shows, like, Norvell has a good grasp on the situation, and, you know, us talking to Norvell too is like opens a whole new perspective for me.
Yeah, when I went in, you try not to be biased. I try to look at everything, you know, from a perspective that's not biased and just analyze the whole situation. But going in, man, I believe I met Norvell, and, you know, I've been blessed to be around a lot of coaches that were successful.
Yeah.
I just don't believe Coach Norvell is one of those guys. He's wired differently, man. He's wired differently. I don't think he's a guy that's just gonna lay down. He's a guy that wants to be elite. He wants to be great. He's gonna do anything. And when he kept talking in the interview about being desperate, and I was like, man, this team is gonna have a chance to be good. Now I had them starting the season maybe three or four losses. Then I saw the Bama game. That changed my perspective. I was like, man, this team can be legit. And
well, especially with how good Bama's, I mean, like, not against amazing teams, but, like, Bama's looked decent since then. Ty Simpson's a legit quarterback. He played really well against you guys. No, they proved a lot to me. I thought that was going to be a loss in our predictions, but they proved. They proved it.
And it's tough as a coach, especially in a space like, you see so many people, they build brands, they get to the top and they want to take their friends with them. And I think that bit Norvell in the past few years, he had guys he had came up in the industry with and he was successful with, but some levels people can't go with you. That's just the reality of the situation. And, you know, some of the guys that, you know, he may have been loyal to at the time, and I'm sure, you know, he still has love for, they weren't having his back at this level. It wasn't on them. It's just, you know, some levels require more. And he had to, you know, move on from them, and he made those sacrifices, and you see what it's done for the team.
I mean, you just see how amazing it is to have, you know, two coordinators on both sides of the ball that, you know, really want to bring it. I think that's been like the biggest difference as casual Florida State fan. I mean, I watched a lot of Florida State last year just because we're in Florida. I've got a lot of Florida State friends. It just didn't seem like either side of the ball really wanted to bring it. I'm sure some players did. I'm sure certain parts did. But, like, Tony White and Gus Malzahn, they've got their boys revving up. That D-line coach, that O-line coach, it's the coordinators all across the board, the position coaches. It just seems like it's meshing extremely well. I mean, this is you almost wish that you could take certain parts of certain teams in certain eras. So it's like, I wish that you could take healthy Jordan Travis in that team with Jared Burse and Fisk, and you could take this coordinator group and mesh them together, because that would be, I mean, you guys went undefeated, but that would have been insane.
You know what's impressive to me, and I've already had a lot of respect for Norvell, but you see a lot of these coaches, especially when they have, for example, if a coach is used to being a DC calling the plays on defense, or he's used to being an OC, these guys never want to give up play calling. Norvell saw the year that we had last year and was like, no, we got to be better, and that's me holding myself accountable as well, understanding, like, okay, maybe I need to focus on other things. He brought in the OC and Gus Malzahn, and now he's able to just oversee everything. That shows selflessness, and ultimately somebody that wants to win is like, man, maybe I'm the problem. Let's get better. I want to win championships here. And you see a lot of coaches sometimes in situations at elite schools, they don't want to put their ego to the side for the betterment of the team. So I shout out to him for doing that, man.
No, I mean, shout out to him too for, like, being amazing in the portal as well. A lot of those additions have been top notch. They've helped a lot. Well, we haven't talked football in a while. Me and you have been texting about football for the last few weeks, but we haven't talked about it on a platform like this. So I figured we'd go through the AP poll and then go through the Power 4 conferences, just kind of give our opinions on who could win, who we think is going to win, and who you think the dark horse could be. Yeah. Just 2 picks. So just going through week 4 AP poll, it's Ohio State at 1, Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, Texas, Illinois, Texas A&M.
Well,
the only one I'm a little bit weary of, well, I have 2 that I'm weary of. I don't think Penn State should be that high. They've looked pretty bad against some pretty bad teams. I understand they haven't lost. They were close to being in the championship last year. I get it, but I feel like they should at least be like lower than Georgia, who looks insane against the Tennessee team, and then lower than Miami, who's looked insane against everyone. LSU has a really pretty good track record. I mean, Clemson hasn't been performing very well, but that UF team was chippy. I mean, there's an argument to be made that LSU and Penn State should both be dropped down. And then for me, the number 11 team is Oklahoma. I think they should be top 10.
Yeah.
Because they've beat what was it last week? I can't remember the team they beat last week, but they beat Michigan 2 weeks ago, and then they beat Temple 42-3.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That's the thing. It was at Temple. They beat them 42-3. John Mateer looks like a Heisman front runner right now. Got him in a future of like 19 plus 1900, and now he's like plus 650. And I'm like, but those are my 2. Those are only my 2 really gripes. What are your thoughts? Do you have any?
My gripe is Penn State. I don't really have a gripe with Penn State. I do think Miami should be ranked a little bit higher. Just being realistic, man. I'm a fan of the game before anything. And just being realistic, Miami looks good.
They look really good.
They look really good. But the other one is LSU. I told people after the Clemson game, because coming into the season before games were played, I thought Clemson was going to be one of those teams. But then I watched the game. I don't think Clemson's that good.
No.
And then we've seen what Clemson has went on to do this year. But not only that, go back and look at the Florida game from last week. If Florida doesn't have 5 turnovers, and then if they have an OC that knows how to utilize his talent, his team's talent, Florida should dominate this game. Because 5 turnovers and LSU only has 20 points. The defense did their job. You just had to put points up. And they were driving the ball, and then they would go away from whatever they were doing. I don't think LSU was that good. If LSU was facing a Florida team that was properly coached, I think this is a game they lose.
No, 100%. I agree. I think LSU's in a weird spot. Miami, in my head, if I was going to rank these, I'd put Ohio State 1. I think that they've showed the best, even if it's not been against like amazing teams. They beat Texas in that first game. Texas looks kind of scary, not in a good way. And then I would put probably Miami 2. Georgia probably top 3.
Yeah.
Illinois being at 9 is a little weird for me because like they let up their hardest win was a win against Duke where they let up 19 points go up. And like it was at home. I'm not really sold on them. I like their program. I just need. I'm excited for them to play like a solid opponent.
I think that they get that ranking because just they give them the benefit of the doubt, but knowing that man, they're gonna play some real teams. We're gonna find out soon enough. So it's nothing to really worry about right now.
Yeah, 100%. Next 10: Oklahoma, Iowa State, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, Utah, Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Vanderbilt. I kind of actually like these rankings. Like I said, if Oklahoma could sneak into the top 10, it'd be perfect. Indiana really hasn't played too many people. Georgia Tech's looked insane. Texas Tech, I actually really like that team. They've looked really good. Tennessee, I like that Tennessee stayed because from last week they haven't moved or lost, and they lost to Georgia, but it was a really close game. It was borderline fluky.
Yeah.
That kicker, once they started showing those graphics on screen, where it was like this guy's never made a fourth quarter game-winning kick, I was like, oh, this guy's missing it. The graphic curse is still there. And then I love that Vanderbilt's top 10 or top 20. I mean, they went into South Carolina. They're 3-0. Diego Pavia, sneaky Heisman, finalist maybe. Bottom 5, Michigan, Auburn, Missouri, Notre Dame, and USC. Everything in my body screams that Notre Dame shouldn't be in the top 25 AP poll.
Especially now they're in the conference.
Especially now that they're not in the conference. But they lost by 3 to a really good Miami team, and they lost by 1 to a really good Texas A&M team, and that's the only games they've played.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, they were ranked really high. I'm pretty sure they were ranked like top 10 starting the season. I love their quarterback, CJ Carr. I think that they will bounce back because, I mean, they have Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford. I think they could run the table because they're really good.
Yeah.
Top 25, though, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the brand for Notre Dame is giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I think Notre Dame needs to start being penalized for not being in the conference. You got a team that played 2 good games, and then the rest of their schedule they're just going to breeze through, and so they're not playing anybody. They're not playing in the conference championship game, and you're going to just reward them at the end of the season by getting in the college football playoffs when the rest of these teams are going through gauntlets. I don't think it's fair, and they need to start penalizing Notre Dame for that. Just being honest.
No, I 100% agree. And I mean, when you have like the others receiving votes, if you drop them out, then BYU would be in. South Florida is right on the cusp. South Carolina, Mississippi State, who's another really interesting team. Arizona State, TCU, Tulane, like a lot of really good schools. SMU dropped out, and a lot of really good schools, a lot of good programs that are not in the rankings. It's one spot, so it's like it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, this time in 10 weeks from now, Notre Dame could have run the table and made it look fine because eventually there's going to be 2 lost teams in this rankings.
Yep.
But this early in the season, I feel like they should have dropped out.
Yeah, no.
Give BYU the 25th spot. Or I loved seeing South Florida. They also, the fact that South Florida went from 18 to not being in the rankings, they lost to probably a top 5 team in the country, you know, and they beat Florida in Florida. They beat a ranked Boise State at the time. I think there's some room there.
I think that was their way of trying to make sure that a G5 team doesn't even have a chance to be considered for those 12 spots later at the end of the year.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I guess the only G5 team is Notre Dame in the top 25, right? And they're not even G5. They're just there. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's made up of mostly Big 10, SEC, Big 12, ACC teams. Well, speaking about the conferences, we're going to go through the Power 4. ACC, we were talking about it a little bit before. Obviously, I think Miami is slated to be the team to win. So I think out of interest, we're going to table Miami and we're going to table Florida State.
Yeah.
Because we're both fans of both of those teams. Outside of those 2 teams, what team do you think can win the ACC?
Georgia Tech all day.
Okay.
Georgia Tech, Haynes King, when he comes in, he's a scrappy dude. That's the type. Haynes King, he's a dog. Like, and they got a clip online that says whenever Haynes King goes to limping at the end of the game, you're in trouble because that's when he turns into a beast. And that's really what he is, man. He's a guy that you're always on upset alert with him, and he turns his team into a different team. They've taken on his identity, and that's the team I'm worried about if I'm in ACC.
Yeah, I think that's the clear answer. Georgia Tech is, it's someone who's. We were just looking through their schedule. The fact that they don't have to play Florida State or Miami, like they can run the table, win that side of the division or the conference, and then make it. Yeah, I think I was looking at SMU, I was looking at the Pittsburgh Panthers. I think my answer probably would be NC State.
Okay.
Just because they haven't looked amazing, but they don't really play too many people to the later stretches. They could get some injury luck.
Yeah.
I don't genuinely like that. That would be literally my 4th pick to win, but to make it a little more interesting, I'll do that. Big 12. I personally think we were talking about it beforehand as well. I really like Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech has a chance to win the Big 12. They've looked insanely good. They've beat some interesting opponents too. I mean, like, nothing too crazy yet, but this week they face Utah. But, you know, the fact that they're putting up these big numbers against the Kent States and the Oregon States usually means that it'll be a fairly competitive game. Utah's a hard game, but
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm with you. Texas Tech has looked very impressive. That's one of my teams I play with on college football, 26. But they've looked very impressive. They've taken a step, and we knew coming into the season, a lot of people, there was a lot of hype with this Texas Tech team coming into the season, and you see why early on in the season. So right now, they're looking like the team that has the strongest chance to run away with this conference.
Yeah, I think, you know, the teams that are interesting to me, Iowa State, they've looked really good. Utah has looked really good. I think this Texas Tech game will be really telling if they actually have a team or if it's just them being tent-poled. BYU has looked really good. TCU has looked really good. Arizona State has looked oddly off, but I still believe in their system. I like Leavitt. I like Tyson. I like Kenny Dillingham. I think for me, the real dark horse of this division would be Baylor.
Yeah,
I think I really like their quarterback, Sawyer Robertson. I really like their play, their play, their teams, their scheme. Like, it's really fun to watch. They're putting up these big points against these big teams. I think it really just going to boil down to if they can win, you know, the hard ones down the stretch. But, like, you know, Kansas is another one too. I feel like Kansas is always in the mix. I mean, especially with their quarterback, if he can stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's the big one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Baylor's chances, but ultimately, I have to roll with Kansas. Kansas, that's a team my dark horse in this one. I got to watch them play for the first 2 weeks. As far as the Big 12, I think they'll be able to have a chance to compete. Watch them in that Missouri matchup. I think they have a chance to compete and make a run in this division.
No, 100%. That's honestly the Big 12. Looking at it is one of the more interesting divisions. I didn't realize how good that division was. Love me some Big 12 football. Big 10. Out of interest of not sounding crazy, I mean, obviously Ohio State's probably going to be the front runner. Oregon and Penn State are probably the next two. Who's your dark horse?
A dark horse in this.
And remember, this is an expanded Big 10, so they now have the West Coast teams as well.
Okay.
Which I always forget. That's why I'm saying, because like USC is in this division. And
this is kind of, I wouldn't even say it's a dark horse, but Oregon, I feel like right now is a better team than Ohio State.
Yeah.
Oregon looks like as good as everybody is in the country. I feel like Oregon's looked like the best team in college football.
Dante Moore's looked great.
Yeah, they've looked like the best team in college football to me.
Yeah. I mean, I would say they're definitely in the mix. I mean, their ranking of 6 is perfect in my head. I was going to say Michigan. I really liked what I saw from Bryce Underwood last week. I understand it was Central Michigan. They finally let him run. And that's the thing. That's the biggest X factor in all of college sports, all of college football. Is like, if you've got a quarterback that can throw it deep and that can run, you know, that's why everybody's infatuated with Byron Brown at USF. That's why everybody was infatuated with Cam Newton. You know, they've got, you know, young mini Cam Newton that decided to go to Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, realistically, he's their saving grace. I think they beat Nebraska this weekend, just because I think he's going to be let loose week 4. You know,
I look forward to it.
And then the final one we'll do the SEC, obviously powerhouse conference as far as rankings go. Yeah. For me, I think it's really. I think Georgia looked really good against Tennessee. I think Tennessee still has a chance to win, but because of just how fluky that game was. Ole Miss obviously looked good. If I'm going to give my dark horse, I've already said to you multiple times, Oklahoma Sooners, they're going to be spectacular. I'll give like an extreme dark horse. Ready? Missouri. I think that Bo Prabula has proven to be amazing. It's if you're a Nittany Lions fan, you should be pissed off that Drew Aller didn't decide to go to the draft last year because they've looked mediocre. But Bo Prabula in the SEC, I mean, against not amazing opponents yet, has looked spectacular. I mean, they beat the brakes off the Raging Cajuns when the LSU couldn't, and they also beat a good Kansas team.
Yeah.
By 11 points. So I think that would be right. Mizzou. Shout out Coach Drinkowitz.
Yeah, I'm going back to Tennessee. I was watching that game, and I feel like that's a game that Tennessee let slip. And you had all this drama with Nico when he left. You didn't think you would even. A lot of people thought that this Tennessee team wouldn't even be good, and now you've come in and you look like a better team now. Now it's looking like Nico was the poison the entire time, just to be honest. And the UCLA team is struggling. I think that's a game that they should have came out with. But then let's not forget, looking back at it, they had their backup cornerback, their second string cornerback starting their game. The starter was hurt. So a lot of pieces as they continue to get healthy over the season. This team, I kept watching the game. I'm like, all right, Georgia's coming back, and I'm thinking Georgia's about to run away with it. Then I come back out, Tennessee's answering. Like, okay, this Tennessee team is legit. And just watching that game, man, I think when they match up with Bama, that's going to dictate everything. I think this Tennessee team can have a chance to upset Bama this year and make a run because that Georgia team's legit this year.
Yeah, their quarterback, man. I think that's the like you said, the craziest thing about college football right now is seeing how awful UCLA has looked with Nico, and seeing how amazing Joey Aguilar has looked. I'm looking right now to see how much eligibility he has because they might be doing pretty good. I'm trying to find that now, but they might be doing pretty good if he can stay around for a little bit.
Yeah, no, he looked good, man. Just his timing, throwing guys open. The moment wasn't too big for him.
Unfortunately, it's his last year of eligibility, but to your he's the perfect guy for this, Heupel offense. No, I completely agree with you, and I think that you saying too. Tennessee, Alabama is going to be a big game. I think Alabama is the one team that we also didn't mention, but they've, outside of the Florida State loss, which Florida State might actually just be insanely good, they've looked amazing. Even in the loss, they've looked amazing. Ty Simpson's looked nuts.
Yeah.
And people were always worried about him, being anything, but I think he's spectacular. I think that another team that we didn't mention that I think needs to be mentioned is Vanderbilt. Because Diego Pavia is just that dude. He sued the NCAA for another year of eligibility and won.
You won? Okay.
And that's why he's playing this year. So he's just that dude. And, when you have a semi-elite quarterback wanting to play at Vanderbilt, you've won. Vanderbilt's been such a laughingstock of the SEC for so long. It's nice to see them actually be competitive and be ranked and, beat South Carolina at South Carolina. I hold a lot of regard in that because South Carolina's a good team. They're a decent team. Sellers got hurt. I don't care. Beamer's a good coach.
Yep, I love Beamer.
We'll see how that goes. We didn't talk about this, but speaking about college football, 2 coaches were fired, UCLA and Virginia Tech. The only reason I really want to bring it up is because immediately your defensive coordinator at Florida State was kind of tied to that UCLA job. What are your thoughts on that UCLA job? Because for me, I think it would be a decent job depending on who it is. Because we saw Chip Kelly flounder. We saw the last coach flounder. They have the money to pay a Nico, but they don't necessarily have the people to evaluate Nico. Because I don't think that. I think the reason Tennessee let him go now that we're seeing is the fact that they saw what Nico was and they were like, hey, we're not paying you a bunch of money because you're not that good. I think that a guy is Tony White, right? A guy like Tony White would be perfect for a team like that because they have deep pockets and he's proven that he can make a defense just hum. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, Tony White's a guy, I made a joke earlier, man, pay Gus Malzahn and Tony White whatever they want because we don't need him to leave Tallahassee. And I honestly believe at this point in his career, Gus Malzahn just wants to be an OC. Doesn't want the stress of being a head coach. But Tony White, I believe, wants to be a head coach. His mentality, what he's brought to that defense, what he's brought to the team, I think he's a guy that's going to be highly successful as a head coach. And get us a championship this year, man. We salute you, but man, I think he would take a program like UCLA to the next level. That's what they need. I think for the past few years, UCLA has been in this position where they've just been settling for whoever they can get. You need a guy that's going to come in with the expectation to bring a championship to your school that isn't just trying to be there, and he wants to bring this program back up to that level that they used to be at. And I think Tony White, he's a guy that no matter where he is, he expects to win. You need that type of guy in your program.
Yeah, I helped Matt Rule rebuild that Cornhuskers defense the last couple of years. Came to Florida State, has immediately made an impact, empowered Earl Little to be what he is. You know, really helped that the linebacker core to figure it out, or at least empowered the position coaches to do that. Yeah, I think him. I mean, he went to UCLA. He was a graduate assistant at UCLA. I think it fits perfect.
Yeah.
I would hate to see him go as a armchair Florida State fan, but I think that he's one. I mean, you see too, like with the Nebraska Cornhuskers, like their defense was revamped the last couple of years, and it's decent this year. You know, like so, it's like it's not impossible. Once he instills that stuff in a organization, it's pretty easy to find someone to stopgap that, or at least instill their own system. But no, I think that'd be awesome. For the Virginia Tech job, I have no idea who's going to want that.
And it's crazy that this is truly a game of inches because I believe it was last year. Virginia Tech had a chance to beat Miami.
Yeah.
If Virginia Tech wins that game, their coach still has his job today. They should have won that game against Miami. That's why this football game, it's a game of inches. You lose a game or you don't get a fourth down conversion. That could be the difference between getting the extension or getting fired.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think that they start 0-3. That's really hard.
Yeah.
And they're the people they've played, it hasn't been anything special. I think that's the tough part too, is like they're 0-3 against Old Dominion, and then Vanderbilt and South Carolina. Those are good ones. The Old Dominion one probably just straw that broke the camel's back. You can't beat two SEC schools. Cool. You can't beat Old Dominion, which, in my opinion, Old Dominion actually a pretty good. Yeah,
Old Dominion, they're not scrubs.
No.
But when you go back and look at even that Miami game, because let's be honest, a lot of like mainstream college football fans, we don't sit up and watch Virginia Tech, but you're gonna sit up and watch them when they're playing Miami, the Miami Hurricanes.
Oh yeah.
And you saw a game last year where a coach in the clutch, he looked incompetent, didn't know how to manage the game, and then now you come in. Everything gets heightened and all the mistakes, and you're seeing them coming into the season 0-3. So you're going back and you're thinking back to those big games that he coached you. You're like, maybe this isn't the guy.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm interested to see who goes for that job. People keep saying Beamer might jump ship from South Carolina to Virginia Tech, which I mean, like legacy wise makes sense, but like resources and program, like South Carolina's built to hum for the next 5 years, like, and they've got so much money. Switching gears from college to professional, we both watch a lot of professional football. There's so much storylines going on. We don't want to jump too hard into it, but we did want to do our top fives. So I'll let you go first if you want to give your top five in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm starting off number one, the Bills.
Yep.
I feel like the Ravens have one of the top rosters in the NFL, and the Bills knocked them off in week one, so they have to have the number one spot. The team after them is the Packers. Getting Micah Parsons, this team looks like a completely different team. I already said before the season I felt like they would run their division, but now they're looking like a team that can make a legit Super Bowl run. Number three, the Eagles. We know the Eagles have one of the best rosters in football. They look good, man. They're humming, and you know how it's going to get at the end of the season. They're going to be in their best form at the end of the season. Number four is a team that I feel like easily could have been up in one of these top three spots, but because they lost to the Bills, I got them at four, the Ravens. Mm-hmm. And then the fifth team I got is the Rams. It was between the Rams and the Bucks. I'm a Bucks fan, but I got to lean with the Rams right now.
I like that. We're slightly different towards the end. I have the Bills at number one. I picked them to win the Super Bowl in our season predictions. They've looked insane. They beat the brakes off the Jets. They should beat the brakes off of the Dolphins tomorrow. Packers, I think, are number two as well. They look insane. Introducing Micah Parsons has been insane. He's been a terror, even with a hurt back. Like, that's the crazy thing. And, like, you're seeing this team do so good, and they haven't even unlocked Matthew Golden yet. I think this is where we'll differ a little bit. My 3 is the Chargers.
Okay.
I really like what I've seen. I love how Justin Herbert's running more. I love that he's confident to throw to everyone. He's throwing to Ladd. He's throwing to Quentin Johnson. He's throwing to Keenan Allen. Omarion Hampton hasn't been unlocked yet, but he's been looking good. And then Najee's also kind of looked good too. But you've got a Harbaugh offense with two RB1s on it. I like that a lot. The 3rd spot, or the 4th spot, I'm going to surprise you a little bit and put the Colts.
Colts, okay.
I really like what I've seen.
Shout out Daniel Jones.
Really like what I've seen. Daniel Jones is looking like prime Daniel Jones, where he won another contract. I mean, maybe he's just contract year Daniel Jones. Maybe that's his nickname. But he's looked insane. I really like Steichen. I've liked Steichen when he was with the Eagles. I think that was the biggest reason they fell off so quickly was because they didn't have the coordinators in place. I think Steichen and Gannon both could be good coaches, but Steichen out of the two, was the one I thought was going to be really good. I was hoping that he would be able to bring AR up, but he's just just become an injury risk. It's hard to consistently rely on him. But you've got Tyler Warren, you've got Michael Pittman, you've got Alec Pierce, you've got Jonathan Edwards or Jonathan Taylor, not Edwards. A top tier O line, a top tier D line. One of the most sneaky secondaries in the league. Yeah. And then you got Daniel Jones, who looks like Sam Darnold last year. Looks like it's just a perfect fit. Yeah. Hopefully they pay him and they keep him for a while. And hopefully he doesn't regress. He could easily be the next Geno. I think that could be the big thing. And then my 5 spot's the Eagles. Okay. But the Eagles they didn't impress me the last 2 games. Yeah. But the pieces are there. So that's the biggest thing. And then if I was going to give a 6 team, it'd be the Bucs. So I think the Bucs are good. But I think the Ravens are good too, but they haven't really proven much. They beat the brakes off of the Browns. They lost a really close game to the Bills. I think that they could easily be the second best team in the league, but we just haven't seen.
We're on war with teams for taking L's. I got you.
That's my thing. Yeah. I just went with 2-0 teams, but no, I think the NFL season's been really fun. Josh Allen has been insane. Baker's been insane. A lot of good quarterback play. DB's getting hurt a lot. It's been the weird thing. DBs and wide receivers getting hurt a lot. A lot of O-line shuffling too, but like we're showing that a lot of these backup O-line are really prepared now. I think the O-line, the arc of O-line coaching has been so interesting because you see even with the Bucs game the other day, their left tackle's out, their right tackle goes out, they shift the whole line. It takes a little bit to figure out, but once they get it, and they win the game.
Shout out Travis Hunter, man. Those defensive. I was with him playing both sides of the ball, but just watching that game. Of course, he can do his thing on the offensive side of the ball. If he had to pick one position, man, I think it's DB. I was just looking at him, man. His instincts, he's fluent, man. He looked good.
That was not a pass interference, by the way. But the last game, I don't know if you saw that, where he got called for a PI, but it was just a blatant good football play. I'm glad that we're not players because the reffing in this has been atrocious the last 2 weeks. It's just been penalty, and that's coming from. I'm pretty sure the refs won the Patriots that game against the Dolphins, but it's bad. Holding, offsides, pass interference. I mean, Stingley got called for 2 plays, illegal touching against Mike Evans. One of them was 100%, and the other one was just jamming him. And I'm like,
oh yeah, man.
So you can't, DBs can't play. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But no, I agree. Travis Hunter. I was talking to our producer Matt at Indie Atlantic Films. Travis Hunter. Yeah, he doesn't. I never thought he was going to be a good receiver. I thought there was a chance. I think he's just got to do what Deion did. Yeah, he's got to be
come in every now and then.
Primary cornerback, come in 5 plays a game, if that. Throw him a screen. Make sure every time he's on the field, he gets the ball. Yeah, every once in a while he'll break off for a 65-yard touchdown. But he's a more effective defensive back.
Yeah, I was looking at that play, even on the pass interference play. Just looking at him, when he's out of phase and. he's a receiver. He knows how to react in these situations. Most DBs would have got a true pass interference in the situation. They would have panicked.
Yeah.
He looks at the guy. All right, he's all right. The ball's coming now. He's late with his head and is able to swat the ball out of there. I'm like, man, this is his position. Like,
he's elite there. That's the thing, is like, he's elite. He's just not playing it. I think if you're the Jags, the biggest troublesome thing is like, we need to make sure Brian Thomas is the one receiver. He had a hard game last game, but I mean, receivers will, especially he's young. He's like 22. No, I think I agree. Travis Hunter, he should be a DB. Last thing we wanted to talk about was the Canelo Crawford fight. We both talked a little bit about it before, or a lot about it before. I told you that I had Canelo by decision, and then saw that you had Terrence Crawford, and completely flipped it because you were the straw that broke the camel's back. I saw so much Canelo, and then I saw a bunch of people flip to Crawford slowly. Won some money because of that. But what was your take on the fight? I mean, obviously, Crawford's on the Mount Rushmore of our generation now. But like, how high do you put him? Like, is he Floyd?
He's in the conversation for sure. Yeah. And Crawford's been in, and this is a tough part for people that have watched Crawford. We know that he's always been good enough to be in that conversation, but I'm happy now to see him finally getting the recognition that he deserves. But because I told you I didn't think the fight was going to be close.
No.
Just I think Crawford, and there's nothing about Canelo. Canelo's a great fighter. Just like going back, we said it off camera, going back to the Earl Spence fight. Earl Spence, like one of my friends, he's like, no, if he would have fought Earl, I'm like, man, listen, Earl is a great fighter. Crawford is an all-timer. Anybody he steps in the ring with, he's going to make look like that. He's just an all-timer. It's nothing against them. He's just on a different level.
Yeah.
But it's just a testament to Crawford's journey. Is just a testament to remaining patient, continuing to believe in yourself. And for anybody that's an underdog that was following this journey, this should be the ultimate motivation to you. If you're a person that's been overlooked or never got an opportunity, Crawford, he was a guy that was overlooked, took a huge risk, bet on himself. Everybody told him that he wouldn't win. He was jumping up too much in weight. Canelo was going to dominate him. And this fight was not close. I know they scored at 116 to 112.
Yeah.
I think Canelo only got one round.
Yeah.
If that. It was a dominant fight by Crawford. And now you see him starting to get that recognition that he should have got 10 years ago. Like, why didn't he get the recognition? Who knows? But maybe it's just God's timing. But if you're a person that's on the fence, you don't know, you want to get to that next level, you're discouraged. You can't play it safe. Crawford didn't play it safe.
Yeah.
He wasn't just resting on the Earl Spence fight, because the reality is, even after the Earl Spence fight, they were downplaying him. Like, man, this Earl Spence, you should have fought him years before the crash. Just like, all right, I got to continue to do more.
Yep.
This was a fight that he wasn't supposed to win, and he dominated it.
Yeah, I think in my head, I've always loved watching Crawford fight. Loved watching Canelo fight. In most recent years, Canelo looks like he's kind of just been phoning it in. Crawford never has looked like he's phoning it in. He always looks like he's just there to dominate. And I think that's the testament to the difference between great and good fighters. Good fighters will win. Great fighters will dominate. Great fighters will break people down. And you see with the Errol Spence fight, like, he broke him down. You see with the Canelo fight, he broke him down. And that's the thing, is like, those are the two biggest fights of his career, probably. He broke both of those both those fighters down. Like, that's like, Mayweather used to break people down. Muhammad Ali was famous for breaking people down. Crawford is breaking people down in this era. In this era of boxing, where it's like the big fights aren't made. Like, you're gonna have like 2 or 3 big fights. You're not gonna have, Joe Frazier versus Ali. You're gonna have, Canelo Crawford when they're both in their late 30s. And he won. He broke him down. We were talking to you off camera, but I think the Bivol stuff is a bad idea. But
yeah, that's
just because he's big.
Looking back at the fight, just a few things that I noticed. Like, even back at the Earl Spence fight, you see Crawford. You said him just staying locked into these fights.
Yep.
Go back to the Earl Spence fight. In the fight, Earl Spence, Crawford's dominating him, and he's trying to touch gloves with Crawford. these are guys in their mind like, man, I can't do it. And Canelo was doing it too. He's trying to touch gloves with Crawford, and Crawford didn't want to do it because he put in his mind, man, listen, I'm in here for war. Like, we can be friends out there. But those were guys who their spirit was broken. Like, their spirit was broken, and they're trying to get a little mental advantage on Crawford and get him to lighten up on him, but he's not. He's a dog. He's a different type of warrior.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see, too, with Crawford, there's nothing but respect. He's going to say he's going to beat you beforehand. He's going to beat you, and then he's going to be respectful afterwards. It takes a special kind of person to, become a 3-time undisputed champion, give the belts back to Canelo, like, gift him the belts back, be nothing but humble. I mean, the same way it takes a special kind of person to drive himself to the hospital after getting shot in the head. It's just, that's the thing, is like, there's too much dog in that man.
Did you see the reaction, the reaction that's online after the punch when Canelo?
Yeah. He's like,
this is interesting. I think that's when Canelo, one of the points where Canelo realized, I can't do anything with this guy, because Canelo in that situation, we clip this together, I'm going to put the video with it, but Canelo in that situation, he tries to set Crawford up with a hook, a fake hook, just to open him up, and then he tries to come across, but then Crawford was ready for it, counters back, but Canelo was taught to roll out of the counter.
Yeah.
So he's expecting to still be able to dodge his punch, but Crawford is so fast, he's able to react in time. So I think part of that was, this guy has some power. I wasn't expecting this power, but I wasn't expecting him to be able to counter this either. Yeah, because I was rolling out of it. I think there are a lot of things that Canelo took from that first Floyd fight. He was expecting certain things from an elite level fighter. But the other one that impressed me, it was later on in the fight. Crawford set Canelo up with I believe it was a jab.
Yeah,
and just to bring Canelo's hands down. And then Canelo brought his arm down. Crawford traps his hand with his right glove and then catches him with a cross. That was beautiful. Yeah. Just stuff like that, I think it just discouraged Canelo. And then when Crawford just was that trading moment they had in the 9th round when they were just going back and forth and Bud wasn't flinching. Like, you're the guy that came into this fight and everybody said how he wouldn't be able to handle your power. He came into this fight and not only handled it, he looked stronger than you.
Yeah. I know, that was the most noticeable thing for me too. Is just like he dominated, but he dominated in a fashion no one thought it would happen. Where it was like more often than not, if you're the smaller fighter, you don't see, you're not pushing, you're not the one pushing and hitting and throwing as many. You're trying to like pop up, get out, pop up, get out. You saw it with Sugar Ray Leonard back in the day, but you see Crawford, man, he was just a different beast. He's like, I'm just going to dominate this fight. I don't care who you are. And that's just how he's fought the whole time. The Madrimov fight was an interesting fight because it was like the first time he's gained weight like that. He won, but that was everybody was like, he struggled. But the difference is like Madrimov's a weird fighter too. Yeah. Canelo's
styles make fights.
Yeah, Canelo's a traditional boxer, and Crawford's proven that he can beat almost anyone in the world that has traditional boxing. But he's on my Mount Rushmore now as far as like fighters I've watched.
Yeah, the thing that was most shocking to me going into the fight as a Crawford fan, I believe Crawford is the best switch hitter in boxing history, and he didn't switch to orthodox once. He stayed southpaw the whole entire fight, and that caught me off guard.
Yeah, I think that the only time you saw him switch was when he was disengaging. He would do like the pivot step almost, but he would never really throw from the other spot. It was honestly, it was like poetry in motion, man. You see so many of these main event boxing fights get piped up and get exciting. That was like one of the best fights I ever watched, and it wasn't like we keep talking about Crawford, but props to Canelo for staying in there. I mean, he's got one of the all-time chins of all time. Like he gets popped constantly. I mean, he's also like, he fought well. Like it's like we've seen fighters crumble in that situation. I mean, you could see him kind of get to the point like, what the heck is going on?
Anybody else is out of there by round 9.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like it going the full 12. It just proves how good both of these fighters are.
Shout out to Canelo too, for people can say whatever they want about Canelo ducking. I don't think Canelo has a scary blood, like nothing scary about him. The money just has to make sense. He's been known to make the big fights happen. You've seen it with Bivol. That didn't make sense for him even taking that fight. But he's been known to take on challenges, so I don't think there's a situation where he's scared of Benavidez.
He's a dude he got bored.
Yeah,
that's the thing, is like he just gets bored of like these divisions. That's the biggest knock on him, is like he gets bored of a division and he'll leave. You know, but like that's also like that's some of the greatest fighters do that. You know, like the Bernard Hopkins. You know, all these great fighters will just like fluctuate divisions towards the end of their career because they're like, I just want the money and I want to make sure that I'm challenged.
Yeah.
He took the challenge, you know, and props to him. Like that was the third loss of his career. You know, before that he'd fought, you know, dudes who were 128 and nothing. Like that's just, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Like that's just, and I mean, like true, like you can't say that he's ducking because he fought Floyd when he was like 25.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not it.
And he took Floyd to decision, right? Or did he lose by a knockout? I can't remember.
No, Floyd didn't knock him out.
Yeah,
no,
it was a decision.
Yep.
But it was a very similar fight where it was like Floyd dominated. But yeah, no, that was a great fight. We had some amazing. We got some really good boxing coming up too. You know, Eubank Ben 2. Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. A bunch of good fights. Just boxing's kind of in his
Brandon
back
Moore
in his
on
hit.
Friday, man.
Brandon Moore.
Let's see.
That'll be a good one. Local guy. Had him on the pod. Very nice dude. I keep seeing like whenever they posted on like DAZN's Instagram, I was like, holy crap. Yeah. I was like, I'm excited. I'll probably tune in this weekend.
I'm interested because this is the lowest Brandon has been weight wise, and he kept talking about when we had him on the pod how this is going to be the fastest version of him. And you saw it last Saturday night, man.
He's fighting a big boy.
Yeah, you saw it last Saturday night, man. Speed kills, especially when you got some power coming with it. So if Brandon's moving around that ring, I think he'll have an opportunity to tire out his opponent. Just utilizing that jab, because one thing you see in boxing, especially with a lot of these heavier punchers, not a lot of them utilize that jab. And I think that's what kind of caught Canelo. He wasn't utilizing that jab against a guy that has great movement. So I'm interested to see what Brandon does.
Yeah, well, it was great talking to you, Freddie. I'm excited to keep going down the football season. Excited to see what these boxing matches bring up. But I'd love to thank our sponsors before we go out. Thank you, T01RX, Concord Coffee, and Indie Atlantic Films. And thank you all. You guys made it possible. We had a great episode last week. Kaz McCorvey. It did way better than we expected it to. Not because of the subject matter, just because, you never know with the algorithm. And thank you all for watching it. And also the socials were nuts too.
He has one over what?
Yeah, over like almost 300,000.
300,000, yeah.
Which is amazing. But no, thank you all. It's been great bringing you more content. We're excited to bring you more going forward.